So after weeks and months of preparation, it's finally time to leave for sick week. But unfortunately, not everyone gets to go. June especially knows that when that truck gets hooked to the trailer, it's time to go racing. But once she can hear the truck running in the driveway, her anxiety peaks.
She's awfully worried that this is a trip that she gets to go on or not. The truck's running, you're loaded, and she knows it.
They both know it. While my truck's warming up out in the driveway, Tess and Tony are putting the final touches on her Maverick before they load it and her trailer in the enclosed trailer to head south. We've also got a 6-cylinder engine that came out of Vicky's El Camino that Tony wants to take back with him to California for his brother's pickup. And I'll be hauling the 496 out of Billy's 55 along with my Malibu in my trailer. And I plan to meet up with the winner, Brian Towle from Tampa, Florida at South Georgia Motorsports Park tomorrow, so long as we don't have any problems on our trip down. But before we hit the interstate, I wanted to stop at the truck wash to get the truck and trailer cleaned up while the roads are still dry. I don't know what it is about me trying to drive that far with a dirty truck and trailer, but I can't stand it. So after a quick bath, we stopped and filled the truck up with some fuel and hit the interstate. We were southbound on I-71 just about sunset, headed for Cincinnati. We managed to cross the Ohio River into Kentucky as the sun was going down. Since we managed to leave a day early, I had initially planned to stop in Knoxville, which is the halfway point, but instead we drove through Atlanta and got a room just south of town, and then got back on the road again Sunday morning. Passing a Corvette on the interstate with the top down was a welcome sight, since it was only 17 degrees when we loaded up to head south. We made it down to Adel, Georgia at exit 37 around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were eager to get out of the truck and feel the warm air for ourselves. Now there's testing available tomorrow, but officially sick week doesn't start until Tuesday. So our goal for today is to get a pit area set up, get the car unloaded, and deliver this 496 big block, hopefully before the pits at South Georgia Motorsports Park are filled to capacity. Now, although 62 degrees doesn't sound extremely warm, it feels like summertime to snowbirds like us, who are trying to escape the snow that we left back home. Now, since Tess and Tony drove straight through the night without stopping, they beat us here to the track and managed to save us a pit spot right next to them, which was a difficult task, given how quickly the pits are filling up 2 days before the event starts. We made it.
I like it.
It's warm. It's nice. We're in shorts.
I'm about to take my sweatshirt off.
All right, so we made it. We're here in one piece. Tommy and Allison and Jeff and Tiffany are on their way down. They left a little while ago. They got a little late start, but they're on their way. Billy and Molly, don't know. That's an open question right now. But I've got the guy who won the 496 on the way here. He's gonna stop and pick the engine up. I think we're gonna go ahead and unload that big block out of the trailer before we unload the Malibu, because we're limited on our pit space here. And so main thing is we got here, we're in one piece. We didn't have any trouble with the truck or the trailer. Thankful for that. Generator fired right up, and so far it's running. Thankful for that. We've got beautiful weather. I had the air conditioning on as we rolled in the track. I love it down south in the winter, man. I'd really like to have a place that we can come down here in the winter and just stay down here in the winter, but maybe someday. But right now we're snowbirds. Once this guy gets here to pick up his engine, we'll go ahead and fire up my Malibu and get it out of the trailer. I need to start looking for some place to get E85. I want to top the fuel tank off in the car and get that done. Just got a handful of little things to do, and then we should really be good to go. We haven't had any trouble yet, but the week is still young. You're getting ready to go up and make your first pass?
Yeah.
Are you?
I am.
Are you excited?
I'm tired.
You're tired.
We drove through, got here at 7 a.m. Wanted to make sure we got a pit spot for everybody.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, we didn't do too good. We got 2 spots for like 8 cars, so
Yeah.
didn't do too great.
That's okay. It is what it is.
Yeah. We got about 22 minutes of sleep.
Perfect.
Doing pretty good.
We stopped just south of Atlanta, got a hotel, stayed the night there, and then room service kicked us out. Well, not room service. What do you call that? The maids?
Yeah.
They came beating on the door at 11 o'clock, kicked us out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we should have done that.
You should have done that.
Should have done that. I'd feel a little bit better right now, but it's fine. We're gonna go make a hit on the motor, see how this clutch tamer works. It's gonna be good.
All right. The hydraulic throwout bearing in Tess's Maverick is using what they call a clutch tamer to release the hydraulic pressure slowly and allow the clutch to slip just the right amount so that it doesn't bog the engine or blow the tires off. So her and Tony are going to continue to dial that thing in while we get ready to unload the 496.
I would just back in right here and we'll unload the cherry picker. We'll go right through the side door.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Load it out and throw it in the back.
Yeah. You came prepared.
Yeah, I figured I'd make it easy as possible.
Yeah. Can you believe this is yours?
It's starting to sink in now. It's starting to sink in.
It's taken a little while, but we're finally here.
Yep.
I was bummed when you came to PRI because I was hoping you'd be able to hang out until it was time to drive the car out so you could at least hear it in person, you know what I mean? That's pretty good there.
Yes, sir.
Once we had Brian's brand new 496 loaded in the back of his pickup, it was time to put the cherry picker in and then hand over the rest of the goodies that came with the engine.
Brand new ATM carburetor. And this is a XRSB 950.
Okay.
So that's basically the exact same carburetor that was on it when it was in Billy's 55.
Okay.
But this one's yours.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's light.
They are lighter. They're much lighter than standard Holley carburetor. Now Bubba hooked you up.
Nice.
Sweatshirt. Little swag pack.
All right.
501 Performance decals.
Nice.
And your very own brand new nitrous converter built for that engine in your truck with a 373 heater.
Yep.
I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, I'm gonna. I'm gonna.
So once again, congratulations to Brian Towle of Tampa, Florida, who won the 496 engine giveaway and is headed back home with a huge jump start on his C10 Chevy pickup project. Once Brian was on his way back to Tampa, Florida, we could go ahead and unload the Malibu and prepare to get the car teched in this afternoon. That way, hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to hit the ground running and get straight to the staging lanes to start making test hits. Once we got the car through tech, it was time to go to the hospitality tent to pick up our t-shirts, our route directions, and of course, our 6-week windshield banner, which somehow Tanner managed to get applied to the windshield perfectly centered. Then it was time to start loading up all our luggage and begin our search for a local E85 station so that we can top off the fuel tank and hopefully find someplace to eat dinner. Now, unfortunately, the weather up home has been so bad and the roads have been salted, so I haven't been able to test drive this car except for just a few minutes the day after we put Tommy's 415 down in the car. And with a 1,000-mile trek ahead of us, I was eager to take the car out on the highway and shake it down. Initially, the test drive went very well, but the lockup torque converter isn't working and the car is using fuel at a much faster rate than normal.
Well, we made it this far. The only thing I see that we got a problem with is the lockup doesn't work on the converter. Something happened with the wiring underneath the dash while we had the car apart, and I don't have any power to my switch to lock the converter, but other than that, so far so good. We're gonna fill this thing up, go find someplace to eat.
Outside of the dismal fuel economy that I experienced on the way down to Valdosta, so far the Malibu runs and drives really good and sounds absolutely amazing. I'm also really happy with the new CVF power steering pump and AC compressor. It's really nice not having to worry about throwing belts, especially after the problems we dealt with last year with Billy's 55 Chevy. So this brings us to Monday morning, and Monday was supposed to be a test day.
Welcome back, everybody. Things are a little different today. This morning I woke up around, 8 o'clock, and I heard this sound of me not coming out of the trailer. I heard raindrops on the roof of the trailer, and I thought, well, I'm gonna get caught up on some sleep. So I stayed in the trailer. I had no earthly idea of how disgusting the weather was outside until now.
Now the plan was to get down here a day early, deliver the 496, and then spend the day Monday testing the car to make sure it's ready so that I can make one pass on Tuesday and start making my way down to the checkpoint. The good news is I didn't have to wait in line in the rain for tech. But Disco, Dean, and Lindsay, they weren't as lucky. But somehow, they're just as happy as we are to be here.
Right now I'm just trying to find the boys. I'm not sure. I think they're here. Well, I know Tommy and Allison and Jeff made it down last night. They made it to the hotel anyway. I've heard that they're here at the track, but I'm not sure where they're at. So I'm gonna go try and find them real quick. And Jimmy Dale's here. He just called me. Him and Mo's wanting to go get something to eat, which I'm down for that, but I gotta find everybody first. Hey, I know those people. Well, I haven't found the kids yet, but I did find Stevie. Steve's having a rough day. He got off to a rough start yesterday. Stevie, you are off to a rough start, my good man.
Yes.
Watching Steve Morris pull the heads off his wagon in the rain seems to be par for the course at Sick Week.
So this is Steve Morris's better half.
Better half, I like that.
You look like you're as cold as I am right now.
It is not Florida weather.
Everything was going perfectly fine until you walked over here, Bill.
Oh.
I wasn't running the freaking struggle bus or nothing.
So what happened here?
So,
What? Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's not good, Stevie.
Broke a retainer.
Broke a retainer,
Dropped
bent the valve.
But, yeah, but didn't go
Didn't hurt the piston?
No, it did.
Oh,
So last night I put one brand new piston rod in it. We had to fix the head. And then I slept and woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning going, I better just put the rest of the rods in it. They're sitting there in a brand new box.
oh my gosh.
So we put all the rest of the pistons and rods in it
Freshen it up.
just cause.
so now he has like a half hour to get it all assembled to get in line for registration so he can make the event.
In the rain.
In the rain.
As competitors continued to pull into the staging lanes, unbelievably, Steve did make it through tech in time. However, we were all running out of time to make test hits and get through tech, which, as far as I know, the boys haven't made it yet.
Holy crap, you got the dash back in it. Oh, there's Junior. Dude, this thing looks good inside.
Don't believe that my car's bad. They get the sill plates on.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's all right. Jeffrey, happy birthday.
As stressed out as I was about my Malibu not being tested, I can't imagine how stressed out Tommy was as they were continuing to put wire ties on everything before they took the truck up to get teched in. And even if Tommy's truck passes tech, it still has to drive over 1,000 miles completely untested. And in fact, Tommy's truck isn't the only one in the camp rolling untested. Allison's mom and dad will be in her Dart, rolling with the 340 fresh out of the machine shop. And with a 370 gear, no overdrive, and only a 12-gallon fuel cell on E85, the next 1,000 miles in the Dart should be interesting, especially if it doesn't quit raining.
We all made it through tech. It's still raining. They've called it for the day. So we'll find out tomorrow what the Malibu runs, I guess. I think it's okay. I think everything's all right. We found a couple little things. One of the coil mounts was broke. Just opened the hood here a few minutes ago. The coil mounts broke. And so I don't know. We zip tied that. So just once I'd like to have a nice car that doesn't have zip ties holding it together. Maybe I'll get there someday. But for tonight, I think we're going back to Airbnb. Jimmy Dale and everybody's got an Airbnb someplace. We're going to go hang out over there for a little bit tonight. Maybe get some dinner.
So this brings us to Tuesday morning. It's cold and it's damp, but it's not raining. The bad news is this won't be a good day for me.
What is it? Is this Monday? Tuesday. Tuesday. It's Tuesday morning. The deal is we've got to move the trucks and trailers off the blacktop and move them over to the other end of the track here. So everybody's moving their stuff and getting ready for the driver's meeting. The driver's meeting's at 8 o'clock. We're all out here getting busy. It is cold, cold, cold. Hell, you can see my breath. Tess, well, she's almost dead. She's like a little lizard. She doesn't move very well when it's cold. Anyway, we're gonna get the car dried off here and try and get things warmed up. They're trying to dry the track right now. They're asking people to take their street cars and dry off the shutdown. So evidently they're having trouble with that. It is damp, it is cold. It is not optimal so far today, but that's all right. It's better than sitting home in the ice and the snow. How's Tess today?
Hi.
Are you
I'm
frozen?
awake. Feel my fingers.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
cold.
they're frozen.
I said
feel
you're
them.
like a little lizard. When you get cold, you don't move as fast.
No, it's terrible.
It's
I need
terrible?
to go like lay on the hot concrete somewhere.
Yeah, but there ain't no hot
No,
concrete.
it's all wet.
What's Tony doing?
I'm
Tony
organizing,
thinks.
That's what I do. I already parked the trailer.
I seen that. I got video of you moving your trailer over there. What's the chances of you getting a haircut this week?
0 to none.
Good Lord, look at the head on that.
Woo, yeah.
By 7:30, the track crew was almost done drying the track, but it was time to go up for the driver's meeting, and I once again ran into Steve Morris.
Stevie,
Yes, sir.
have you got your hot water tank fixed yet?
No, not yet. We'll get it when I get back.
So
Don't need it the rest of the week.
Well, you're having a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah, but last year at this time, we had already kicked the oil pump belt off of it, made 3 passes with it, and burned the motor up.
Oh.
Rebuilt the engine.
Oh.
Came back, and day 0, hit the wall, had a transmission line blow off, hit the wall, caught the car on fire. Said, "No, that's enough." So last year I didn't even make it to this point. So I'm doing pretty good right now.
Oh my God.
So I'm on it. I'm doing great.
Has your wife had a shower yet? A hot shower?
No. No. So she's just on the 2-step rev limiter. She's not on the full rev limiter yet, but the 2-step's pretty high.
Something step is like a 5 grand.
2-step is something's about to happen.
I felt so bad for Steve's wife. She was standing out in the rain yesterday, cold, and then found out the hot water tank quit working in the motorhome. Anyway, we chatted for a few minutes before the opening ceremonies, and then I went back to the car to get ready for our first pass.
Are we ready, Tanner?
I think so.
What do you got there? Nachos?
We got power valves.
So we had some people stop by and need a little bit of carburetor assistance. You'll
I
see.
might have sent him over here yesterday.
Oh, well, okay. So you'll see that in somebody else's video. But we're just about ready. We got the truck and trailer moved to the other side of the track. They're drying the track right now. That is a continuous process. I mean, this place has been soaked. The entire facility is just really wet. The pits are still wet. The track's definitely still wet. So once we get the track dried up, they're going to turn us loose today. I'm in C class. The faster cars will run once the heat gets in the track later this afternoon. So it's going to be a little bit, but we're just going to hang out and mingle with people and tune carburetors, I guess.
Drying the track took a lot longer than anyone expected. Then there were multiple oil downs and a couple of accidents. So with the rain delays and over 380 entries here on the property, every single competitor was anxious to get their first pass under their belt. Because if you're happy with your first pass, you can go on to the next track. You don't have to wait around all day for another class call. So we ended up spending most of the day talking to people and bullshitting amongst ourselves.
How did you do that?
Smoking hot,
How
dude.
did you
I don't
do
know.
that?
You can't stare directly at her.
You
It will
can't.
burn
I
your
can't.
eyes.
Look, you can get a good comparison right now. Staring at the sun, see, look at the sun,
Yeah.
and then look at Modell. It's like looking at the same thing. If you look directly at it, burn your eyes. It's bad for your health.
All right, so they finally called us up. They've been having a lot of cars breaking and oiling things down and just a lot of little mishaps. I think a wheel came off one here a little bit ago. So we're running way behind, but the track staff and the 6 week staff are doing the absolute best they can to get us down the track. I'm headed up for my first time run. I have no idea what this car is going to run. It feels good. I mean, it cruises good. It sounds really good. I don't know how this engine's going to run with this converter and this gear ratio. It is what it is. Whatever runs, it runs. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm excited on one hand, but I'm really hoping to get a one and done, because this pass, if it's good and I turn in my time slip, then we can get on the road and head down to Bradenton. If I have to stay here and struggle, then our day gets really long, and then the 300-mile drive down to Bradenton happens really late. So we'll see how things go. Hopefully it goes well.
Now, I topped the car off with fuel Sunday. It rained all day yesterday. Since we didn't get to test yesterday, I was a little concerned with what the car would run with the ethanol content this low.
All right, so the first pass went A to B, but slow. A little bit disappointing, honestly. 11:06 at 123 mile an hour. It left so slow and it left so lethargic that I thought it was broke. I'm not used to it leaving that slow and that mild. So yeah, we didn't get any time to drive it or tune it or do anything. before we came down here because it's snowing and salt on the roads up home. So a little disappointing first hit, but it did go on down the track. It's still together, you know. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. I'm going to put some timing in it, and I'm going to fix this ignition coil that's hanging off the inner fender. I'm a little bit concerned about that. I just don't like having stuff wire tied together like that, especially when people are stopping to look at the car. It's, you know, it's a representation of all these people that help me. We're going to work through it, you know. We're going to work through it. But I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to have the opportunity to be here and be with my family and be with Tommy and get to watch him race his truck for the first time.
Obviously, my plan for a one and done today isn't working out, so I decided to take the Malibu up to the Summit trailer to see if they could help me find a replacement for a rubber coil mount that's broken underneath the hood, because the last thing I need is the coil wires getting tangled up in the steering shaft.
Hey man, thank you so much.
Hey,
I was so stressed out about that coil falling off and getting tangled up in the steering column.
well, I'm glad it worked. I'm glad we could help, man. I'm a drag and drive competitor myself. I know how important this stuff is to you guys, and that's why we built this truck and we're out here. So I'm glad it worked out for you.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
I can't tell you how much I appreciate that.
Well,
having a nice car like that, and you open the hood and everybody's looking at it, and there's a freaking wire tie holding the coil to the inner fender.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but you know what? For your sake, I hope I don't see the rest of it.
Yeah, me too.
So far, my problems with the Malibu are pretty mild compared to what some of the other competitors are dealing with back in the pits. I'd much rather have wire ties holding the coil together rather than the front fenders.
You guys are dead serious about this.
Keep it moving.
Unfortunately, they had just called C-Class to the staging lanes when we had another mishap. And so the sick week staff had to make a difficult decision to end testing for the night, which meant a lot of the cars that had been waiting all day to make a better pass than their first were not going to get that opportunity. So instead of trying to make a better pass and increase my chances of making a more consistent run at this deal, it was time to pack up and start making our way to the checkpoint.
Okay, so late breaking news. The car that Rich Guido was with unfortunately struck the wall today. He had a catastrophic engine failure. Rich, we've had a change in plans.
We have had a change in plans, yeah.
This is Rich Guido, Canadian Chuck Norris, who doesn't have his car here. He came with a buddy of his this year.
Yeah.
And he had an unfortunate high-speed engine disassembly and a minor brush with the wall.
Yeah. No longer drivable for sure.
Yeah. So instead of just going home to Canada, or Canada, as Tess would say, you're going to ride with me and be my navigator.
I am. I heard that's a fun job.
Yeah, I'll bet you did.
Tanner says, give him lots of notice. And I'm like, I'm a good navigator.
Oh, Tanner's talking shit, is he? So Tanner's going to ride with Allison. You're going to ride with me.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and make it to all our checkpoints and our hotel.
And this is more my style anyways. It's got a normal seat. It's not a race seat.
Oh, yeah.
It's got small tires, not big tires.
And it's not a mobile.
And it's not a
And it's got heat and air.
heat and air.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Hey, I'm being the nice guy. I'll take one for the team. I'll go ride in the Dakota that's loud and obnoxious. You can ride in the nice, quiet street car. With a nice seat.
I actually couldn't believe how fast Tanner was there. You should take him up on that.
I think Tanner needs a break from me.
Yeah.
Let's spend some time together. So.
You ready to hit the road?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, so we know where we're going.
Yep. 1.7 kilometers. We got to take a right or a left on Old Coffee Road.
What the hell's a kilometer?
It's a unit of measurement for distance.
Not in this country, it ain't.
Although we don't seem to have a language barrier, Rich and I were struggling a little bit to calculate mileage between stops.
Rich, you hungry?
I am hungry.
I am dying.
Yeah, let's go find some place to eat.
As it turns out, Rich and I both share a love and affection for Texas Roadhouse. And Rich's buddy who crashed his car today is going to join us and attempt to douse his sorrows, not in alcohol, but in fresh baked rolls and what he calls Texas Roadhouse crack butter.
So I figure with as rough a day as you've had, the least I can do is treat you guys to Texas Roadhouse.
I was going to treat because I got to ride with you. I love Texas. One way or another, we'll pay for your stuff.
These are the best puns ever made.
They put crack or something in the butter. They had to.
You know about them things, huh?
Oh,
How do you say it? A boot?
A boot.
A boot. You know a boot is.
After our pit stop for crack rolls at Texas Roadhouse, Rich and I drove the Malibu down across the Florida state line, down to our first checkpoint, passing a number of cars on the way. The Malibu was knocking down about 12 miles to the gallon at 65 to 75 miles an hour. Some of us were doing better than that, and others a lot worse. Since Rich and I were able to make much better time than the rest of the crew, we decided to go ahead and make our way down to the checkpoint and get the drone out to film some B-roll and take a tour of what was, without question, the most amazing checkpoint of Sick Week 2025. Welcome to Leadfoot City, checkpoint number 1 of the longest stretch of driving between tracks for the entire week. I rolled in, and Rich jumped in the truck with his buddy to head back to Canada. Billy and Molly showed up a few minutes later in the Blue Nova, but there were problems. Billy, Weasel, and Wyatt were all doing just fine, but Molly, not so much. She was sick to her stomach and had managed to cover most of the parking lot with copious amounts of her DNA, while the rest of us took a tour of the facility and had a chance to meet the owner of Leadfoot City. So what's your name?
My name's Achilles, and they call me the mayor of Leadfoot City. So we like to have fun around here. There's a lot of puns and fun stuff like that. So I'm going to take you into the Leadfoot Speakeasy.
Speakeasy?
Normally, we'll have a bouncer in there. You knock on the door. They'll check to see who it is. You give them the passcode.
No way.
Enter in the mayor's lair.
The mayor's lair? No way. Holy smokes. This is awesome. This is
Crazy,
great.
right?
Yeah.
During events, we'll have live band in here, cocktail waitresses, the bar set up, nice, spread of food.
Dude, this is cool.
Just a really unique, VIP experience when you come to the track.
This is unlike anything I have ever seen. This is amazing.
Thank you. It's been years in planning and navigating through all the red tape and local government stuff, but thankfully we've got great county commissioners. Half of them are gearheads.
That helps.
Achilles, we got your back. Build this thing. Be badass for the county, and so it's been a real journey. Doing this, building a track from the ground up. It's not like we bought a shut down track and reopened it. Like
no, this is all new.
Built it from the ground. This was a chicken farm for about 50 years out here.
Wow.
Not a speck of pavement or concrete when I bought the place. And everything's brand new. Brand new track, brand new LED stadium lighting, storm drain systems.
Everything.
Sound systems, you name it. With the bar and grill, the amphitheater, the convention center, speakeasy. It's just a fun, wild place to come have a good time with your family.
Yeah. Finnegan just pulled in here a little bit ago with his 55. He's like, man, this is cool. I've never seen anything like this.
It really warms my heart to hear the genuine feedback from all these racers today that came by for Sick Week. And it really just, it's a testament to have to see my family and like everyone's hard work for years of putting this thing together. So
this is awesome. Well, thank you for inviting everybody to come and see it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to come back sometime.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait to have you guys.
Well, guys, I'm about done for tonight. Rich went ahead and took off with his buddy from the last checkpoint, and that was Leadfoot City. And so I'm headed to the hotel now, trying to get a little bit of sleep, maybe do a little bit of editing and get caught up. And tomorrow we're at Bradenton, and I got to be there first thing in the morning. My class is out first. So long day, very long day. We started at like 7 o'clock this morning when I got up, and cold, and God, it's amazing how much has transpired in a day. But we're having a good time. The car is doing really good for the most part. It's not as cruisable and as easy driving as my last engine, and it doesn't do nearly as good on fuel. But I haven't had any time to tune it, or I haven't done anything. We just put it in the car and brought it down here, so I can't expect too much out of it, but it's pretty decent.